RR84 is one of the strongest players inside the mobile game, 270. Many players have asked me, who should I buy? Which candidate should I use? Consider this the official strategy guide of how to win with Ronald Reagan 84. Let's begin. Thank you to Luca for the game. He's also playing as RR84. First, you need to know your candidate's stats like the back of your hand. So, analyzing RR84, I know he has a really high big conservative. I'm going to start off in national groups. Maybe you don't want to go national groups, and that's okay. But the worst thing that can happen in a 1v1 is that we clash on the second pip. If we just spend 200, and then on turn number 2, we each would have $300,000 of free cash, and you would have access to big conservative for the rest of the game. Now, this opponent is going to start, it looks like, in swing states. Swing states is a great opening option for Ronald Reagan because he has a 35% bonus and $135,000 of bonus funds in the swing states is phenomenal. Now, because I have $100,000 left over, I'm going to go into Florida and contest my opponent, hopefully with a clash in Florida. Now, he could double pip this, but I think he's likely going to expand in the Old South and go up in Florida and other African-American swing states like Arizona and Michigan. And so he's not going to have enough money to do all of that. And luckily, we do clash on turn number 2 in Florida. So we have access to Florida the rest of the game. Now, with my extra cash, because of my big conservative national group, I can now contest him in the swing states and open up into swing states he is not already in, like Nevada, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and I don't have quite enough for New Hampshire. Now, he did open up into Maryland last turn, which gave him a free path toward the Old South. Knowing this, and RR84's Old South bonus, it's likely he's not going to expand much in the Old South. Rather, he's going to go up and get his Old South bonus, which he is by going in Georgia and Maryland. I'm going to go ahead and skip the time. So there's the Old South money. He does get just over $60,000, which is a great bonus. Now, I can only go up 3 pips in Florida. He can actually go up 4 pips in Florida. So knowing this, he possibly thinks he has a free path toward the swing states. Let's go ahead and attack him in North Carolina. To be safe, I'm going to go up past him beyond the mark that I think he is going to go if he decides to block it for extra pips. And I'm also going to open up in Louisiana. This is because I'm taking away his Old South bonus by taking North Carolina, and if he does expand, he's likely going to expand in either South Carolina or in Louisiana. I'm guessing Louisiana because RR84 has a really high oil and gas bonus, and even if he doesn't go in Louisiana, that gives us access later on, and oil and gas is going to be a key foundation to how we want to play with RR84. Our North Carolina steal is very successful. He does defend 1 pip in Virginia, and there goes the Old South bonus. So right now, we're sitting pretty. We do have the big conservative bonus, and he has nothing. We have a little bit more cash than he does, $348,000 to $265,000. He does have an anchor state in Florida. We could defend North Carolina here. I think that most of the time I probably would. I don't know much about this opponent. Instead, I'm going to bring Florida back into play. I am going to zero spend because even if he goes into Texas, he doesn't have a clear path to manufacturing. He could expand in the swing states, which it looks like he is going to do. And California is a great state for RR84, but he doesn't have really any paths forward to a bonus, maybe other than high tech, but we're already in Virginia and Maryland as well. So really, whatever he chooses is contested. So he is going to have to decide what is he going for. Is he going to go for Old South or is he going to go for swing states? I think it's pretty clear he's going to go for swing states. And so we're going to go for Old South. We are going to go up in Louisiana, which is uncontested. We're going to go up in Georgia and Virginia. We're going to not defend in North Carolina, which I could with that 219. Instead, I'm going to attack in Arizona. I could maybe go up in Pennsylvania or Michigan to try to prevent the swing state bonus, but instead I would like to have that cash so I can potentially double pip a big oil state if I need to next turn. So far, so good. Our Arizona steal is successful. So is Georgia. Michigan, he goes to the 4th pip. Okay, so he's got Pennsylvania, he has Michigan and Florida. We are able to steal Virginia, and so that is going to give us Old South. It is not going to prevent him from getting the swing state bonus in the long run, but we do prevent it for 1 turn now. So 60 plus 45 is 105 plus Florida is 205. So he needs another state, which he could do with just Iowa or Nevada, or he could just flip Arizona again. I'm going to invest in the Old South states that I have already, as well as double pip into Texas. I think that it's likely he just goes for swing here. He could try to make a bold move and steal Georgia or North Carolina. He does not. And so we're going to basically protect our Old South bonus, so we can have all those Old South states the rest of the game. And now we have really put the pressure on him. He's going to have to feel that need to get into California. Luckily for him, he does have Pennsylvania and Michigan, which are both high-tech states that are pretty well spent in. Let's lock North Carolina. We're going to leave Georgia for 1 more turn. Arizona, I don't need it at the moment. Let's just go ahead and lock Georgia. So we're going to concede Arizona. We're going to not go after swing. Let's open up in manufacturing and then quickly get into oil and gas. I just got that in. So again, I'll have to keep Louisiana, which luckily is uncontested. And then oil and gas is really the next bonus that I think is a must-have. So if we don't get swing states, which is $135,000, oil and gas is a $100,000 bonus for RR84. It's only a $75,000 bonus for most candidates, but having the ability to go both California and Texas is super noteworthy. Indiana and Kentucky are not swing states and are not contested like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin is. We already have North Carolina sealed up, so if we just go up there, we can get manufacturing. We do not have Florida, so ag is not likely this game, and so we're really going to have to keep our eye on Latino. We can use our manufacturing money to basically go for all the Rust Belt states. Our oil and gas, usually I would hoard and then go after Texas. I'm sorry, or California in this case, since I have Texas. But really, I think what I'm going to do is get into states with my manufacturing and my oil. So that'll be like Alaska, North Dakota, South Dakota, West Virginia, and Oklahoma, just for the EVs. And then really, the next bonus that I'm looking at is export. So Ohio, Illinois, Washington, and Oregon. That will give me the export bonus. Since I'm not going to have ag, I'd really like to keep it, close to as even as possible on the bonuses. I'm not going to overspend for Latino, especially not having California or having Florida. But he's not going to be able to double pip into New York. We can maybe backdoor African American. We've got, tons of bonuses versus he's having to defend in Michigan and in Pennsylvania. He did lock Maryland, which was interesting. Now we can focus our Old South money on, Louisiana when we're pressured, or EVs in Mississippi and Alabama. Michigan's long gone. So instead of going up in New York, this is going to be a little bit weird, but I'm going to go up in Nevada and in Wisconsin. He has swing money, and I'm just going to make sure I spend my money there before he can lock other states. So we do lock Arizona. So he used his swing money there, but that was a waste. And I did it on that turn because I knew he was going to have to go up to California to the 3rd pip. So that was the majority of his money. He now has high tech. He didn't have high tech before that. And so let's do the same thing. We're going to lock Wisconsin. We're going to go up in New Hampshire. And I don't have to go up in Colorado or New Mexico, because those are no longer swing states. I still have lots of oil and gas, so we're going to go up in Oklahoma, West Virginia, and the Dakotas. I'm going to use my Old South money in South Carolina and Alabama. Tennessee possibly will be AA, but I have manufacturing for that. And then I still have about $1.20 in oil and gas. I could still potentially roll over into California pressure. There's African American, 80,000, Latino, 60,000, and town and gown, 75,000. All three good bonuses to have, but they're not very high when you're playing with RR84. So keep that in mind when you are using RR84. You do not want to play out of Texas. You want to play out of Texas. You do not want to play out of New York. And that's where you get most of those bonuses from, is New York, the town and gown, the AA, and the Latino. We played from Texas, and it worked out very well. I'm going to use my manufacturing money in Illinois and not Tennessee because I have AA money, and I don't have export yet. So by going up in Ohio, Illinois, Washington, and Oregon, that'll get me to export. I can use my Old South money in Arkansas, which is open. He is going to spend just a little bit. He is going to save the rest. There's the 60K of export. Again, not a game changer when it comes to bonuses, but it's, better than not having a bonus. We can now enter into California. If we had already not been, we already are in California, excuse me. We looked at California. We did not want to go up to the 4th pip because if he blocks it, we're using a lot of pure cash, just Latino and oil and gas. So we're getting into as many states as possible. And we're leaving open a few of the ag states, unless we want to have a ballot. I'm not sure we do. Doesn't super matter. Let's just go ahead and get it over with. It's turn 14. We've got lots of states locked in. So we're going up in New York. That's really his desperation plays. If he were to make a big spend, it would probably be there. We do lose export and Latino. Where did he go for us? Was it New York? Let's see, was it Illinois? It was Illinois. Okay, so I could have easily defended that. Let's just go ahead and lock it down. Again, he's got 721,000. He can't spend everywhere. We'll lock Alabama with our Old South and AA. Lock Louisiana with oil and gas. I don't have any more money to go up in California, so now it's just using my extra free cash and my town and gown to defend Missouri and Minnesota. Going from highest priority of EVs, New Jersey makes the most sense. He's going to use his swing money in New Hampshire. I will let him have that. I do have some oil and gas. Let's just go after New Mexico last. And we just saved only 6K, so can't put that anywhere. We're going to win. He did 0 spin, so it's not like he could have flipped very many EVs. So we're going to win with more than 360 EVs. Let's see if we can get to 400. Illinois makes it 377. I think we did a lot of defending. We went in New Mexico. That's going to be 5. Did we go in Washington? I already can't remember. There's 382. Nope, no Washington. So by a final score of 382 to 156, we have won the election with RR84. So first step, look at national groups. You can go big conservative. You do not have to. Consider swing states, but make sure that you have a fallback plan, and that would be one of the big oil states of California or Texas. Get that oil bonus. Either get manufacturing if you're in Texas to back up that state, or go for high tech if you're in California, and spend wisely. The Old South can be a tool, but it's not a must get. Thanks, guys.